Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video we would be sharing our Salesforce code tips and tricks, like how we should proceed with your Salesforce development journey, and what is the things or what are the benchmark kind of things that one must know in order to have a good understanding of things and in order to consider as a good developer. So we are considering into Apex and LWC into our consideration. So for those who are new in this, so basically Apex is a priority language of that is used by the Salesforce platform to create and customize applications. Basically it has a syntax that is similar to Java, and if you are from a Java background, then yeah, it's much easy to learn Apex. And coming over to your Lightning Web Components, this is a framework for building your responsive and efficient web applications, and it is built on top of your modern web standards such as web components that allows the developers to use industry standard tools. So LWC is also like your Angular framework, if you have worked on that as well. So it works quite the similar way, and just the things remain the same as in there. So working with some tips is like, if we are working with our Apex, so we should always try to make use of bulk design patterns. And what are your bulk design patterns is like, basically Apex is used to or is created to handle multiple records at a time. Okay, so instead of writing a code block that only handles one record at a time is a waste of resources, because Apex is built over the multi-tenant architecture. Okay, so what we do is we make use of our bulk design patterns so that we could handle multiple records in a single transaction only. Okay, why? Because it would reduce our number of API calls. Since Salesforce is a shared architecture, so we could not have the monopoly of all the resources over one hand. No, the resources are divided among the people equally. So like, if you could see an example is like, I've taken a list of accounts and I could query I'm querying accounts to a limit of 1000 accounts. Okay, and I'm also in the other query, what I'm doing is I'm querying the contacts where account ID is present in my previous accounts. Okay, like when you are aware of these kinds of concepts, try to go with the aggregate functions, learn about what is aggregate functions and how you would be dealing them to have more optimized version of your code. Okay, so that is there. Moving further is like, avoid using SOQL queries in your for loops. Main and foremost thing is like, we should not avoid any SOQL query in a loop, because it would consume our governor limit and would cause a lot of serious performance issues. Okay, so that is the issue with your SOQL queries. Okay, and now since I'm talking of governor limits, why? Because of this shared architecture only, and we have to make use of resources wisely. So since Salesforce is having a strict governor limits, so it would limit the amount of resources that we are getting in a single transaction. So in the Salesforce official developer site, you could find the governor limits, like how it is the maximum number of limits that we could get in a single transaction, 5000 to 50,000. The data varies in that only. So it is like that key, we should always ensure that our code is always staying within the governor limits. Every time when we are developing, we should have this all things in mind only. Okay, like in this I have queried 1000 accounts and check the number of account retrieved, like accounts.size, that is provided by Apex method only. So, and in this we could check like limits.getLimit query rows, so we could check if any error is coming or what is the success ratio of these things. Moving further is like using while working in your Lightning Web Components, what is there is LWC is a structure or what we could say is a works on the web standards. So they have provided you some basic blueprints of the components that you may use for your better better and custom code development. So you do not have to develop everything from scratch. There are certain templates that are built over which you could have your custom code and could deliver it with ease. What it does is it would reduce your execution rate as well as the time for the development that it would require. In the example that we have used is we are making use of a lightning card with the title my custom component. In this we are using a input label, and down here we would be using a lightning button. Okay, so like this lightning card, so this functionality, that how it should look, the look and feel is managed by this only. So in order to override this, we write some CSS classes, but yes, the basic blueprints are ready made for us. Okay, and like while we are traversing from one LWC component to another, so there is a very important and a good concept, that is the event communication, that how we are to communicate within events, how component events allow you to communicate between related and unrelated components, even if they are not directly related. What is the advantage is like it helps you to build fixed and reusable components, and your code helps you to manage and structure your code efficiently by dividing them into further sub modules. Okay, so that is the advantage of component propagation. Moving further is the use of lightning data services. So basically Salesforce provides you a very powerful tool in the form of your lightning data service that allows you to read, create, update and delete records on the Salesforce platform. And what is the major advantage of this is like you do not have to write a single line of Apex for that. Okay, you would use the LDS, that is the lightning data service, that would help you to get more efficient and secure applications. And lightning data service is a very powerful tool because it takes into consideration your field level security, object level security that you would be dealing in your Apex class with the keywords like with sharing as well as with security enforced. So that is the major advantage of that, and we do generally fulfill that with the help of lightning record forms. Okay, so there are two types of forms, that is the view form and the edit form. Depending on our condition, we go with either of the two. In this, the example is for a lightning record form, the object that we are using is the account, and the input field we are taking in the to consideration as name and type. There is a button as well in here, and further down we could have all the functionality. The blueprint, as I already told, is provided to you by Salesforce. It's just you how you are leveraging that thing. Okay, so moving further is your secure code practice. So till now, if you are having good knowledge of your code, now what it deals is like you have to make your code more secure. And in this, Salesforce provides you with edge because it ensures that your code is protected against common vulnerabilities like socket injection and cross-site scripting. So like in the example, we are getting this account ID and name. So if we are using this inside a query, so within the bind variables we are using the thing, and in the list of contacts we are getting the database.query and the name. So these methods are already provided to us by Salesforce, and the query that we have written is what we could say is it would not be is easily able to have a socket injection over this query. So that is the advantage. Like instead of what we could have done is like if we could use where account ID is direct the value of the account ID, and instead of name in our query, if we would have written the test account, then it would have been vulnerable to your socket injection and could have been easily modified from the window URL only. So that was the major disadvantage, and with this we could override all these things. Okay, now everything is taken into consideration. Now we want efficiency and scalability, and efficiency and scalability comes from your asynchronous Apex programming, which can help you perform your long running operations and avoid exceeding of your governor limits, because your asynchronous Apex have a bit higher number of governor limits, as you can say in your multi-tenant architecture kind of way. So we use this feature to perform the tasks that would otherwise take too long to complete synchronously. In this, like, I have implemented a random class by the name myQable has implemented an interface, queuable interface. So what it is, what is queuable, what is batch Apex, schedulable Apex, and what are the advantages of those. You ought to have good knowledge and consideration over these things. Okay, and moving over to the last and the foremost thing that is very very important, I do tell you time and again, is documentation. Making a code readable by other person makes you a good developer. Okay, if you are having comments and descriptions of your classes and methods, you would be able to update, or any other person would be able to update that thing, because when you are working in a real-time scenarios, you won't be having a 5 to 15 lines of code. There would be numbers, hundreds and thousands of lines of code, and without proper commenting and documentation, you would able to get to the root cause of an issue that might prevail in the near future, and it would take you a lot more time to debug that as well. So like, what I have done is I have created a class, and I have documented like this returns the sum of two integers, and using the @param I have defined the parameters and my return statement as well. So I think I covered most of the superficial topics that are important in your Apex and your, like, basically a developer journey, you could say. So if you are happy and if you understood the importance of all these things, so do give us a like. And if you want a part 2 of this for intermediate to a high level kind of person or experienced individuals, do comment down below. If we get more number of comments, we would definitely be making content over that. Okay guys, so thanks for watching.